Good morning. You'll never forget. All right, let's go. So, good morning. Running a little bit behind. Go ahead and pull out your journal sheet. I'm going to go ahead and mark off um, the 1 hour check-in point for us to keep track of. I really like to use that to check in and make sure that I'm not over trading, that I'm practicing my risk management. Okay. So today, in terms of your journal, you're going to write down that it is Thursday. It is August the 8th. Inviting you to park anything that is happening outside of these 2 hours out somewhere. Let it go, release it. It will be right back there for you when we come back. I promise. Okay. Um, and so usually when I think of Thursday, I mean, we'll just proceed with the same caution. There's no data today, no data drop. I'm looking at the economic calendar. You guys know I like to use tradingeconomics.com/calendar. You just go ahead and refresh it. I do believe, yeah, we had some pre-market data. We had jobless claims at 5:30, and it came in as was forecast. Wow, what a coincidence, right? So it was forecast that 199,000 came in actually at 199,000. We also had unit labor costs quarter over quarter. Quarter two was forecasted two, came in at 1.3. Jobless claims rose from 1798 to 1801, and on average, the 4 week average came in as forecast at 198,000, came in at 198,250,000. 198,000, right? Am I looking at that right? Yeah, it's in pace. So, and then we have non-farms tomorrow and unemployment tomorrow, okay? So I'm going to head back over to what you guys are seeing, which is the screen. We're going to work our way from right to left. I'm also going to look over here just to see. I like to use the alerts as kind of like my agents, just to make sure nothing major happened pre-market. Let's see here. SPY has been the star of the show this week. The weekly alert for calls came in on Friday, and so from what I can tell, we had 2 days of calls, uh, and we went all the way up to 52-week highs before we started to meet some resistance. But in terms of the alert, it went all the way almost up to, yeah, it touched 80%, but I think that might have been, I want to say pre-market, mm, or post-market or something like that. But we hit 100%. No, sorry, 80%. Okay, and so we're having that healthy reset level. Yesterday, Wednesday, was the first time we had a reset. I have some clues or some hacks on how we can look for that in the future for contracts. This time around, I was just paying attention to how it moves. Let's see. We're moving pretty quickly. I would say that I anticipated consolidation for yesterday, and that we did, and I felt like it really protected me from a lot of trying to re-enter and getting chopped around. And so I think Wednesdays I'm gonna not only mention its consolidation, but the solution is gonna be, I mean, Orb is nice to play, nice strategy to use, especially on Wednesdays, and just be willing to sit on your hands a little bit more until something happens. Um, Today I'm gonna tell you, from what I'm seeing, it looks like we're gonna face another um, consolidation day on what I'm seeing here on SPY. I'm not seeing anything on a 15-minute. You guys know I love to see me a 15-minute setup. QQQ has already started off that 15-minute put to the downside. You guys know I love me a good 15-minute pre-market time frame, right before market open. But we're going to do the same thing on QQQ. I haven't really been trading QQQ. I'm growing a small account, and so with these type of accounts, you have to be insanely accurate and base hits. Um, and so that's just the only. And then also, if it starts to introduce a lot of chop, um, I just, you know, it's setup is not giving me the cleanest indication for a move. Now this is interesting. It looks like we're heading for some downside. I did plot this area as based on the next zone is the 4 hour, but I do see that so I wouldn't take puts in here, but I do see a gap down here. So let's just go ahead and mark that off that we never dealt with, right? Because when SPY skyrocketed to the upside, let me put this, I'm gonna label it because for moments like this where I want to know what the time frame is. Okay, so 4 hour. On the 4 hour, you can see this we're entering buy levels, and we had gapped up and we built a strong base for buys to the upside, and so now we're kind of just recovering. Wow, I feel like let's see, we are right now we're dropping 7-11. Yeah, we possibly can go for that gap fill. Let me delete this and see if it still shows up on there. Oh, there's no gap there. It's only, let me see if that, okay, yeah, no, there's a 1 day gap there. Um, I'm not sure why it's not showing up on the higher time frame. Ideally, it would have already started to show up on the 4 hour. See what's happening on the 1 hour. Interesting. And I almost wonder if that is because, yeah, it's there. I'm keeping it. I think that it could be blindsiding a lot of people. They might be looking for this lower gap right here, which might be to our advantage, because if they go for this, we can hold with a little bit more confidence through this consequent encroachment. Um, Interesting. Yeah, because they're probably gonna try to fill this tiny little gap down here, and then if we fall over into this side, now this was a bullish gap, so meaning that there's calls. We had gapped up so much that it can be a little bit of the stairs down here, but again, we have that gap a little bit further down that I think uh, other people are going to be gunning for. So, ooh, I guess we have insider. Yeah, so pre-market is what I like to see on the 15-minute. I like to see that indicator going to the downside. That being said, I think it's going to hit 100% if it hasn't already. It looks really, okay, now this one's good. Okay, now IWM on the 1 hour looks really good in terms of like a base. I also like to see a base or something like that. How are we doing on time? Okay, we're actually doing really good today. Let's see, in terms of time. Let's take a sip from my SPY just went ahead and gave me that 15 minute signal to the downside that I like to see pre-market right around now. Okay, just working our way down. Yeah, we are rejecting off of that 200% level. And again, there's a reason I mark these levels because institutions respect them, right? This 100% level on the 4 hour got respected pretty much to the T. And so they overlap and overlap and overlap it, but the levels respect each other. So it is a critical take profit level. We did open above VWAP here, but we're going to have a little bit more downside. Um, I had marked this as a buy block, so we will continue to. I think this one's just a little bit different in that, especially when I'm looking at the 1 hour and big monitor. Um, let's just engage with it. So it looks like we're kind of having some bearish activity here. Um, let's not try to force anything, but we're kind of opening below previous day low, which I'm pretty sure it opened the bears are just lurking right there waiting. Now here, I wish I could. I don't know, maybe a little bit, ever so slightly OCD. And so, this gap never got filled down here, y'all. So in between what we're seeing with QQQ and and IWM, this little gap down here, we have to resolve it. Um, and so on the 1 hour, we're building a bullish base. And so what we can look for is we are below the 8 and the 4 here and below VWAP. And looks like we're right below the previous day low. So we absolutely are going to have the bears, the PDL bears, join us to the downside here. Now, this is interesting because pre-market, they wanted to form a little bit of upside, but I feel like that's not going to happen today, bro. Unless you get like some user data or there's like a Twitter, whatever goes off. But if we invalidate this, we definitely going to have more downside because there's people who are looking for buys above previous day low, and there's people who are looking for puts below previous day high. But we can start to look to enter with some confidence. Yeah, I don't want to make that. I want to keep that 100% level. Um, we're gonna make this way. We can look for some puts as we start to invalidate this one here. I'm gonna just name it X this Thursday because I need to delete these. I don't want to have so many lines. So, but I always have my little like sniper entry um, points. But yeah, so like just ever so slightly little bit of a base here, right above you just say low. But for the most part, the collective, it's almost like a zoo. There's bears in here that they might try to pick up. So we're just gonna be patient. If it breaks out to the upside, I think what I would if we let's see, we will watch what the other ones are doing, what the other ETFs are doing. But if we recover here, um, I would be open to calls here. But I think that with how we have so much downside on QQQ, um, I'm gonna put maybe calls cautious is what I want. Cautious calls, and this is off of the 1 hour. So we want to come back and look at the 1 hour. And we can even just wait, yeah. But because we will be invalidating this zone here and picking up the calls that fired pre-market. Interesting. So we have a little bit of divergence because on the 1 hour we want some upside. Um, but I would say wait. The range to wait for on IWM is going to be here and here. Um, should I? Let's make it like this. And we're, I don't normally do this, but um, today we are, and this means we'll probably have something like this happen again in the future, where they're not quite as hard set as these ones down here for buy above, sell below, but this is basically what this is going to be, buy above, sell below. Now, did I need it for inside? I don't like that. I'm going to at the top. Yeah, I'd rather do that. Okay. I think I know why, but it's just, oh, I know why. Yeah. I wanted it to be by above, sell below, but yeah, no, we're not. Let's see. Well, it works good on this down here for below, but okay. So let's just move our way down. Um, on the 30-minute, we have that confirmation for more downside as opposed to upside. We can also start to look for calls above here. It's a head market. Oh yeah, and I just didn't. So let's just. Every time I say that. Okay, so 30 minute call. So we can go look at the 30-minute and see that once we've crossed over this threshold of stop losses, we can look across to the upside. We also have a previous level here for calls to the upside. And we had this gap that we dealt with that had orders to the upside. Um, I'm getting better at color coding them. I kept it green. I think this might have been a VWAP gap though. I think this is a VWAP gap. I'm gonna title it because and we're gonna get better at color coding stuff, but otherwise I would have made it red. But this one gives a call to the upside that we filled it, but we never quite broke up above it. So we have some calls. If we enter into this area, you can see buyers stepped in here and stepped in here, and stepped in right below like the stop loss level, but we failed. We came right back up and then decided to move downside. So 30-minute has showing us that we want downside. 1 hour has a, do we do full port puts at open on IWM? Now just be careful here. I feel like even if we break above here, there's a tiny little gap that we might want to fill. Now even in terms of VWAP gap, we have stuff here. We're building a nice base above previous day low here. I think if we can just be patient and wait, if we get like a signal, like this could be a little bit of a choppy zone, but if we can wait for us to break below here, we can entertain some puts and get a nice healthy move, I feel like. Just taking base hits along the way here with the 100% lining up at the 200 moving average level. A little bit of a crossover here, but okay, looks like we failed, and so now we weren't able to stay above previous below. If we cross below these stop losses, we can start to entertain some puts too. But just be careful. That's what I wanted to say. And then I'm gonna take a tiny break. This gap right here, we might want to. Nope, not from the looks of it. Yeah, we're continuing to stay below VWAP. But there is a tiny gap up here. But this gap is bearish, meaning we would fill some orders that didn't quite get to jump in and participate in the puts. So, and so when we come back up and fill those, we might have a little bit more downside. Okay. But it looks like be responsible, but possibly just because these two. Ooh, yeah, and there we go. So we got puts on IWM, puts on QQQ, puts on SPY. SPY is participating in the downside with that beautiful pre-market. I think that if you want to be cautious and responsible, you would do base hits on SPY. SPY is very bullish. Um, in terms of like we're still dealing with that 1 week. We didn't quite have a massive correction the way that the other ones did yesterday on the ETF, but definitely, absolutely, depending on where you're going to hold. We always have some type of a pullback at the 50%, but respect this previous day low because you're going to have bulls step in here. QQQ, yeah, we're going to try to fill that gap. And because it is a bullish gap, we might do some ridiculous stuff like come and tiptoe on it and then bounce up. But I think we talked about this too on QQQ. There's a little tiny gap down here that other people are not aware of, or that they're aware of, but we're looking at the 1 day gap. So it's just kind of like confluence, and we can try to hold past this consequent encroachment because the smaller gap is down here on the lower time frames, and I think that is what is on people's radar. Small break. right, you guys, just regulate your nervous system. Um, Finally, on the 1 hour here, we have that bearish base that I like to see. Um, I just, so let's see. You already had a little bit of a bounce here on SPY. I would say if something fires for calls or for puts on one of these, you can take it with some confidence. Or you can wait for the 5 minutes and wait for pullback. QQQ has a little bit more of a longer run. It has a little bit more of a run. Um, More of a runway in terms of what we have down here below compared to what I'm seeing on. I think off of the 15-minute, yeah, this one is already below the 200 moving averages, whereas with this one, we have the 200 moving averages right down here. So, and I'm looking at that as a potential bounce as opposed to this one already below it. Same thing too for SPY. Okay, we're going to have in the next 7 seconds, just regulate your nervous system. Anticipate a retest of the previous day low, but if I get, there we go. So market open, we open below previous day low. A little bit of some calls there. Okay. I'm gonna entertain some puts here. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Let's see which we are. Okay, I'm gonna jump out, and I'm already out of the trade. Very small trade. Because I knew we were gonna bounce off of this level, and then the next thing I'm gonna be looking for is because yeah, it bounced right off of here. Um, this was at open. So that's trade number one. Puts on IWM, and this is based on pre-market put entry. SPY has a little bit more of a run in terms of puts to the downside because they're going to try to touch previous day low before they decide if they're going to bounce. Otherwise, we'll continue to be below this VWAP and the 8 here. There we go. So we're breaking through there. I'm gonna try some puts on QQQ, guys, if I can get in. Let's see. The volume is there. I'm gonna try to get out. If I can get in and get out by uh, if I can get out by the 300 mark, everyone just hit 100%. Okay, let's see if we can get a little bit more downside here. Drop is going to go to right. Okay, I'm going to jump out here. And I think I'm going to be done for the day. Yeah, good move. Yeah, as we were approaching the 300 level, There's always some take profit that happens there. And I anticipated a little bit of a bounce. So how we're going straight through this previous day low, and there was no support or nothing, honey, nothing, nothing. Late recovery on the calls there. I'm gonna cool my jets a little bit. I expect a little bit of a bounce here and a little bit of like some type of retest if we just stay low. But if we can continue to break below here, we have more downside. We already are below the 200 moving averages here on QQQ. And now that they've satisfied their 100%, they're probably gonna, come back in here and then look for some, another position entry into this gap down here. Okay. Same thing with SPY. If we continue to have small candle closes below the previous day low, we'll have more downside. Okay, so we're absolutely bouncing. This I love this so much. We're bouncing off of these 200 moving averages, which is a pretty strong level. Let me make sure, yeah, you guys can hear me. Okay. Yes, y'all. I want to say done by 6:33. If I'm gonna be responsible here. And part of it is we recognized on a larger trend, all three of the ETFs wanted downside. I showed you how on the 1 hour we had a bearish base there, so we had a little bit of support. And then just on the platform, it allowed me to get into the puts, and sometimes that doesn't always happen. I feel like I'm chasing, but and so here, give yourself a star if you waited for the first 5 minutes. That's okay. We still have the hour ahead of us. This is interesting. You can see that we hit 100%, took profit, 300% to the T, took profit. This is why I have that level there, you guys. I tell you, I engineered this because in terms of like, what are the levels? What are they bouncing off of? How do I know when to get in, get out? Am I holding too long? But yeah, so here it hit 100%. It overlapped with these 200 moving averages. I put both 200 moving averages. It's like we're pushing below here, but we want to see like a base below here before we look for more downside. Um, Otherwise, this is still in a cautious area. Like we have buyers that could step in here off of previous day low, especially on SPY because we had that 1 week call entry, and I suspect all the way up until Friday, their SPY is going to want to remain bullish with conservative um, drops. And so, yeah, all of these and have hit 100% SPY, IWM, and QQQ. Oh, I didn't put. Should I do that now? Let's do it on the 15 minute. Alert. QQQ. Mm-mm-mm. Oh no, 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 no. Come on. Probably should have waited a second. And on the 15 minute, hit 100%. Um, we'll worry about that one then. But yeah, buy hit 100%. IWM hit 100% in the first 1 to 2 to 3 minutes. And then that is just based off of like learning how to execute trades and stuff. Because sometimes what matters is that it hits the level, not how long you're holding for forever. If it hits 100, 300%, take profit. And whatever happens on these lower time frames, um, is reflected in the higher time frames. That's why I still have like a 300% level on the 3 months and so on and so forth. So yeah, you guys, I mean, nothing else showing it to you like this. We hit 300% and QQQ was bullish. It was like we participated in and we're gonna bounce. Now this is a very good bounce here. These 200 moving averages, it's a strong level. And then when you have both of them, I think I'm gonna start documenting too. I'm gonna start tracking. Oh, you know what happens when these two cross over? Um, Yeah, because I don't have anything else better to do, right? So we're in purple. So this is red, and red is here, and purple is here. I want to see what happens. What happens to price? So that's going to be my homework. Beautiful buys here. So I was kind of messing around with the bulls here. So let's see if they can invalidate the 15-minute zone and then build the upside that they're looking for. They really messed around with people's push levels here in terms of their stop loss. Really wrecked those levels for them. Um, okay. But we had the calls step in here. And this one makes more sense. That's one thing I love with all of these ETFs. They do respect levels. Here we had the bears join in below previously low, and here we had the bulls join, participate, and calls above previously low. But it tested their stop losses. Ooh, I just thought of another great strategy too. Ooh, ooh, your girl is on fire today. Ooh, ooh. Um, ooh. So here in terms of previously low, it looks like, I'm just eyeballing it. It looks like it gave the people what they wanted for, and now we're just going to decide what direction we want to go in. Um, QQQ is kind of like the oddball right now. Like, we understand why SPY is bouncing off of previously low. We understand why IWM is rejecting previously low, right? But QQQ, I mean, short of my indicator telling you you're gonna hit 300% here. Um, what are you doing? I mean, we yes we're below previously low, but we kind of opened up in no man's land. Um, ooh, I need to set. Now, why would you do that? I'm gonna put some parameters on X because I'm only on there. First thing that pops up is because uh, I need a post on there, but I don't need to be getting alerts when I'm trading. I need to also, I'm gonna add this as homework to myself. Three. I'm gonna put time check for X. I'm just gonna limit the hours that it can show up on my phone. Here we're just patiently waiting to see what happens. I think on a day like today, the moves have already happened, right? It's easy to feel FOMO, but we're patient because I know at this point, just knowing all the different strategies when they step in, especially if you're an orb, a 5 minute, next time frame is 15 minutes. So we wait for the 15 minutes to establish, and then we wait for a breakout out of the 15 minutes. So we are going to be looking to see if, like here, IWM, we remain below the previous day low. And the 1 hour has this bearish block here on QQQ. I think it wants to sympathize more so with SPY as it always does. But when I'm looking at the 1 hour chart, there's nothing. There's nothing. And then SPY, um, we're just buying above previous day low, which matches what we're trying to do in terms of like the 1 week call, you know? Are we just gonna fade out after 2 days, or are we gonna continue to rally into Friday? because I saw the open interest on the contract first. They started to kick in on Wednesday, then Thursday and Friday. We're starting to invalidate this put zone here. I'm not worried about it because we satisfied our 100% here. Okay, we satisfied our 100%. Um, Now on SPY, we did have the 1 hour. Let's go back to the 1 hour. Remember we had, okay, so we're quite a ways from the 1 hour. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We're quite a ways from the 1 hour um, indicator that fired to the upside pre-market. Um, it took people on a hell of a ride. It invalidated their stop losses here. Um, but you can see it opened above VWAP. That would have been at 6. Um, and then use previous day low as support. But once we start to cross over this threshold, baby, it's time to look for some calls. So, and continue to ride it out until Friday. I feel like we're gonna rally. Once we recover, the problem is there's some divergence here. Okay, I'm gonna call, I'm gonna tell you what I'm seeing. So there's divergence because as much as we have a setup for SPY to go to the upside, QQQ has a bad habit of participating in these type of like rallies, but we have this gap down here that hasn't been dealt with. Now, that being said, QQQ also on the 1 hour had calls to the upside. Oh, but this was a couple days back, and we did satisfy 100% on it. But nevertheless, kind of what we're looking at here. Okay. We are approaching the 1 hour mark. So you can put this on the 15 minutes just so we get a better. I don't know if it's better with this video. I feel like it looks smaller than the other one. Um, this. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that size. That's nice. Okay, so we've been validated, and the key level here for QQQ is previous day. So now we did open below these 200 moving averages. Here on IWM, we see that it's basically rejecting off of the 8. It didn't quite give you the previous day low. Um, find it fascinating that it's right at this level that I marked off. Ooh, I got my dividends reinvested. My Roth IRA is growing. Oh, it's a cute little size. And I love being able to do this on my own. You just look at how it's doing over the. Once I get the hang of it, I want to have better returns than the market. But that comes with time. Like instead of just blindly buying stuff, you know. All right. So let's see what's happening here. So just to kind of calm your nerves a little bit, I think the key levels we're going to be looking for here is some type of confirmation above this 15-minute here. I didn't outright say it, but I was like, I wasn't going to be looking for puts here. But if you're going to look for calls, you can pretty much try to do so with confidence on SPY because we're still reacting to that 1 week call entry where I feel like uh, they're going to try to rally into Friday. um, in terms of the best bet, and I love how we're building off of previous days low. A little bit of resistance on the 5 minute in terms of like that 200 level being a major level. QQQ, I don't know what you're doing. You got so stinking close to this gap and then just said, see ya. But you're trying to participate in the rally that's happening over here. Now, IWM also had, ooh, they're going to go for this gap right here. Um, they're starting to build above the previous day low. But here's the thing, IWM also has calls to the upside that formed pre-market, that also formed pre-market. So all of these three are very much wanting to participate in the rally that comes from, ooh, we already crossed over on the 1 hour on IWM for calls to the upside, y'all, on IWM. Do with that what thou wilt. I think that I'm gonna wait until I cross here, and yeah, for several reasons, yeah. Until we invalidate here, this is a very shady area for IWM. If we can break above here, I'd be willing to put a split in calls. I think also if I get a call indicator for SPY, I'd be willing to participate in calls as well. Um, let's move it back to the 1 hour because you can see we're breaking ground, baby. We are once you start to get those candle closes above these stop losses right here, I think, and we're above the VWAP and above the 8 on the 1 hour here, we can start to look for calls. I feel like these two have the healthier. This is an A plus setup. This is a B setup just because we have this block. Ooh, 5 minute call entry. Ah, okay. Oh, SPY is also giving. I feel more comfortable with SPY. I'm gonna jump in on some SPY calls. While I'm also trying to manage this for you guys. So I like that there's 11 in there. I'm gonna jump in. I feel like this one I have more. I've talked about this more confidence in three. Starting at 135. Call on SPY. Ooh, you're going the wrong way, boo. But I feel like out of all of them, the one that's most likely to recover is gonna be SPY, and gonna give me the runway that I need. Um, let's see here. And this one, QQQ can have a little bit. It's gonna, let's see. So this one said 5 minute entry for calls. Um, you can pretty much run until previous day low, take profit at previous day low for sure. Because, come on, Spy, don't do this to me. You know I'm a nervous rabbit. You know I'm a nervous girl. It's going the wrong way. But it is rejecting the 200. I would like to see it bounce off of this 200 moving average. I want to see it hold above that level. But on QQQ, you could start to take profit at the 200 moving average, but they're gonna probably try to go for previous day low. Before some type of bear step in. Remember, we have the mic of the 1 hour call entry here. Um, I'm watching it on. Let's do this. Let's watch it based off of the 1 hour, so we can have. Okay. Just gonna watch it off of the 1 hour here. I imagine they're gonna want to try to hit somewhere up in here. Ooh, don't sell off. Don't do that. gonna keep a tight stop loss. And usually for me too, like if I don't like how I got in on the 5 minute, I'm not starting to see some levels hit in the first 5 minutes. Oh, come on. Don't do that. Let's see what it, if I don't, yeah, don't do that. I would like to see buyers step in here. They're not really stepping in the way I would have liked them to here. Oh. Oh, another thing too. Remember we talked about this yesterday? When this fires, um, it opened in this shaded area. I'm gonna make a note to myself here. So here, um, and so I can be a little bit snottier about my entries, um, versus like I still feel like even though I'm entering on confluence, I feel like uh, we're 5 minutes out from the top of the hour here. Let's look at the 1 hour and see. Just practice your risk management, you guys. You can always jump back in. I am holding. Um, I don't like. Now we did open below VWAP here. I don't like how we're back down below the stop loss levels. I don't like it, and I don't like how drastic the sell-off is. QQQ is starting to recover a little bit off of the floor here. Um, I don't like how we're selling off there. Okay, all right. I'm gonna hop out, and I think I try to follow some rules that I have for myself, which is, uh, yeah, I'm done trading for today. One red, I'm done trading, and I'm still green up for the day. Um, I think that this one, even though I talk a lot of smack about PQQ, is maintaining a much better position of the stop loss zone than SPY is. Even though SPY has a better outcome in terms of the weekly, I don't want to wait and give back. I'd rather just give back a tiny little bit. But it could possibly try to retest previous day low here. I think that we can enter with some confidence, especially with the 1 hour on our side. If we wait, it's rejecting this 200 moving average the way that it should. Can't be mad at it, right? But if we can kind of start to open above these this here, um, let me see what's happening on the 15 minutes. Yeah, it's gotta be patient. I would like to see more of a base above here. Um, Now, IWM is doing a nice job of building a. This is what I want SPY to do. Doing a nice job of building up off a previous day low, um, and opening above the VWAP, right? Uh, I would like to see the same candle setup like above here. QQQ remains bullish. I like how it, let me not fix it, but it's staying above these stop losses beautifully and buying up off of the floor, so I like that. We have a little bit of future tops here though, but for the most part, it's kind of maintained, and then IWM is closing the ranks here. Ooh. I think for me, if we can start to get candle closes above here on, let's just be patient. If we can start to get candle closes above here, I'd entertain some calls on IWM. And then we have some nice buys here off of the 8, but we're still below. Okay, we're at the top of the hour. Let's see where this opens on. Every time I hear that go off, I know that we're 30 seconds out from the top of the hour. So what's going to be important here is where price opens in relation to the VWAP. So let's watch for that there. We can put this on the 1 hour as well. And then this is already on the 1 hour. It looks a little funky on the. Ideally, QQQ would have opened above here on QQQ. I expect a little bit of a pullback here. Ooh, I expected to touch VWAP before we get more upside. Let me see what is this. I'm gonna look for some calls on IWM above the 300. Hmm, there's 1200 there. See if we look at 100, if you see this too. Oh wow, there's not a lot of people in calls for IWM, or the contracts are so small. They don't have a lot of value in them. Let's just wait for a price to build above that. Yeah, so this is how it's been something at my level. Okay, I like what I'm seeing here. Well, this is, this was for call entry. Um, we're below the stop loss levels. Um, so I want to see some strength above here. Okay, I like how we're building above here. See what's happening on the lower time frames here. Okay, let's just see if we can get a candle close here above. And beautiful, we have a nice base above previous day lows here. I like what that means for. I like what that means for calls. I'm in calls, y'all. I did not follow my rules. Get on the 1 minute and hoping that this continues to stay down. I like how we opened above the 200. I'm going to be watching it on the 16. I think this is the first 30% level here. Yeah, this is the first stop. So I'm going to see if I can hold until we put some upside there. That being said, we have a little bit of sell-off here, which matches previous lows. Both of these are selling off, but IWM is holding its ground. I just can't really buy off of a very, and this is a problem area here. This is a problem level here. The only thing I wish I had with this trading platform is that I wish that we had we can hit that again. Make it out. So I made that what I like. Let me see guys can hear me. I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix this out. Okay, so here comes 5 recovering. I'd love to see that candle close above here. A little bit of, expected resistance here from the 200. We had a candle open above here. This is good for SPY. Okay, IWM. And then let me show you how it looks on the 1 hour. I wanted us to make sure that this remains valid. And so as we go up the time frame, we're going to want to stay above the 4 for the most part. Beautiful buy above here. A little bit of resistance off of the 200 that you can anticipate. Definitely going to take the stairs up. Beautiful buys here as well. Breaking out at this critical level here on IWM. And then let me show you on the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, we are well. We are well above this stop loss level. We bought off the previous low, and look at hit that 30% from pre-market. Love to see it. Okay. Let's see what QQQ does with the previous candle. If they can get a strong candle through here, then they can pop over and continue to participate in the rally that's happening with the other two. QQQ really you don't want to deal with this gap, and I don't think. Here we go. Just hit 30%. Beautiful recovery here. This is good. Now let's see the 1 hour. Alright, so looks like we're gonna do the 30. I had stayed in. This is a reminder that at 7:30 we're approaching 1 hour in the market. I'm going to delete it so that you guys can see how we're doing with the list and stuff. And then once we cross over this threshold right here, we're going to pick up more bulls here and continue to have more upside. A little bit of taking profit at 30% for let's look at this on the 5 minute. I'm thinking that it hit a critical level. Yeah, we're at 50%. So it might push up just a little bit more. 50% there's always a pullback off there. And remember, we also reacting to the 200 rubber banding. So we might, this might be the retest that you get. Some people might be waiting for another retest, but that was the retest. Buyers bought it like I said. A little bit of a VWAP gap that I can see I might have to start marking VWAP gaps, but alright you guys. I'm gonna work on my stuff here. right, this one, I'm working on something because I have a project at work at the top of the hour, but um, this is healthy. Okay, this is good. Um, um, it's just dealing with this 200 moving average here, dipping back into calls here. Let's look at this 15 minutes. So QQQ, the 15 minutes, here we go. So you're gonna want to wait just a tiny little bit if you can until we get out of this level here. So I'm learning to just be patient, and even though and just do with it without will, right? But here we have a beautiful retest that keeps saying go. I feel like we can try to pick above here. We have the momentum from the east. Don't want to watch my upside, but the key is going to be waiting for it to cross over this threshold here before we look for more upside. So I'm just going to watch this play out. SPY is just doing the responsible thing in terms of, you know, dealing with this rubber band here, but it did open above the 200 moving average here. And I like how we bought up off of this call entry level. Beautiful buys there. SPY is the one pulling the market out. So. Alright, so let's just see. We can mark this level, and then what I've been learning to do is just if we can start to break above here on the 3-minute, then you can look for more upside. Now this is really a beautiful base here off of previous day low, buyers stepping in. We had retest and buy a strong candle to that level. But yeah, you can just be patient and wait for that candle to push through above there, and you can now participate in that. So the push is going to this is on the 15-minute. Yeah, so we can put 30% there. Thanksgiving, the late entry, they might try to push the 50%. It was point. You have a little bit of a pullback there, a little bit of that's normal, which will line up with the pullback here. This was gonna hit. Oh, it hit 30% on the 1 hour. Okay. Beautiful. I'm gonna go back to my project I'm working on here. What's going on? Happy birthday! How you doing? Good? You have a good... Let me turn this off. right, y'all, I'm back. Alright, so we have a healthy profit taking here at 30%. We can drop down to this 30 minute. It is struggling a little bit, but we do have buyers offers of 4 there. Ow! Why did I do that to myself? Okay. So we have a healthy retesting, but they're going to have to, once we bounce off of this 200 and this 4, we should have a nice recovery. QQQ continues to hold its ground here, not only above previously low, but looking like it wants to build. Oops, why would it do that?